Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Press TV's Top 5. And I'll begin with Syria saying it's intercepted missiles fired by Israeli warplanes from above Lebanese territories. Syrian military confirmed 3 soldiers were injured in the attack. Israeli missiles targeted a countryside west of Damascus, and Lebanon has confirmed that Israeli warplanes violated its airspace. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights also verifies missiles have been fired from Israeli planes. The Israeli Ministry of Military Affairs has announced it's activated its missile system.
This is Wrap the News, and you better get yourself ready for what's about to take place. Better get yourself ready. We have Genesis 1:14 to start this off with. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and for years." So we have a huge sign, and we have some seasons, days and years, all in this 3 supermoon period. So we're having 3 supermoons. What's the supermoon? It's when the earth, the moon, and the sun line up with the moon being closest to the earth. Easy explanation. January 21st, first supermoon. February 19th, second supermoon. March 21st, 2019. 3 in a row. It's marking a time and a season. What time and what season are we in? What's going on? 400 years of captivity is up. It's time for the captivity to end. And it's the season for the captivity to end. And 10 times out of 10, it's the year for the captivity to end. It's up. And their 70-year reign of falsehood is up. From 1949 to 2019, January 1st, their time is up. So they had a 70-year reign. If you don't know, they mimic you the whole time. They stole your land, they stole your identity, you know, and they stole your whole personification. Israel, everything about us, they stole it. So they had a false exodus, if you didn't know. So we're going to start with Revelations 2 number 9. "I know thy works and thy tribulations and poverty, but you are rich, and I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan." Why? I keep saying that the Gentiles, and that's all they are, they from Cyprus. They from Cyprus. The Gentiles are what? The progeny of Satan. They are not even human. They are jinn. They are a species of jinn. There are 4 species of jinn, and they are one of them. You know, they're starting to find this out. We starting to find this out. Then we're going to go to Isaiah 69. "Surely the isles shall wait for me, the ships of Tarshish," which is Britain, modern day Britain today. "First to bring thy sons from far, their silver and gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee." So what did Britain do? Britain tried to make Israel a nation, to take this promise from us, from God, to us, from us, and give it to what? The Gentiles. Britain did that. And so Tarshish in the future is going to bring our sons from afar with silver and gold. There's no silver and gold on these ships that brought these false Jews, the synagogue of Satan, over to the land of Palestine and pretend that it was Israel. That Wailing Wall is a lie. That's not the Wailing Wall. The Wailing Wall is in Tel Arad. Everything in that false Israel is false, even the people. Only thing that ain't false is probably the Palestinians.
Zionist Jews actually had a design on the land of Palestine, the idea of creating a homeland for Jews in the land of Palestine, in the land of Palestine, in the land of Palestine.
January 1st, 2019 to January 1st, 1949 marks a 70th year of the synagogue of Satan pretending to be us in Palestine. Daniel 9:2. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the numbers of years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. 70 years. They did take 70 years, 1949 to 2019. Daniel 9:24. 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression, our transgression, to make an end of sins, our sins, to make reconciliation for our iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness. Now we know how to worship God right, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. So then what God says, Revelation 3:9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. All of those Jews from Cyprus and all over the world now, fake Jewish, which say they are the Jews and are not, but they do lie. They lying. Behold, I will make them come to worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. He didn't say he loved the Gentile. He said he loved you. And he made an everlasting covenant with you. And he sent you the books, Israel. So February 5th, 2019, the Pope is to make a historic visit to United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, for the first time in February the 3rd to the 5th. Okay, you got February the 3rd to the 5th.
Prophecy is coming, February 3, 2019. What is going on? Well, Pope Francis is making history again. A matter of fact, we all must pray for peace. But we must also look into the historical and prophetic context of this historic meeting on February 3 to 5. Pope Francis is making history again. Yes, in February of the coming year, 2019, he plans to visit the United Arab Emirates, the first time a pope has ever set foot on the Arabian Peninsula, according to Arab News.
3 supermoons in February. So he's going to stay out there to the 5th. Which makes how many more days though? 14 more days to get his butt out of there. 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And then things ain't looking so hot in March then. Or things is not looking too hot after he leave, you know, on February the 5th. So again, you got the Pope making a historic visit, first time ever, to United Arab Emirates in February 3rd through 5th after receiving an invitation by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. Okay. Daniel 9:27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. 1 week could be 70 years. And in the midst of that week, he shall cause the sacrifice of the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of the abominations he shall make it desolate. So the Pope is there trying to make a one world religion, peace with all the religions, Islam, Christianity, Jew, Buddhism, one world religion. Let's just all get along. Can we all get along? Okay. Matthew 24:15 and so on. 24:15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. So, you know, I believe from the 5th you should be getting ready to leave, right? If you're already over there in Palestine, called fake ass Israel, you should be packing up to move to Tel Arad. Okay, I could be wrong, but I will be watching the signs, because this war is awfully close, ain't it? Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. What did that mean? Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Well, in olden day Jerusalem, the houses were built very close to each other, where someone who is on the rooftops could flee to Judea. Could flee to the mountains of Zion. He can run and jump from house to house to house, and then jump over the Israel wall, and then flee to the mountains to escape. Right? Escape what? Some kind of war. Right? And let him on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Your bag should already be packed, Israel. Everybody should be in a state of readiness. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Everybody go to Mount Zion. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray. So he what? Pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. So he giving you what? Time to pray. And what are you telling you? He's telling you what to pray for. Pray that you don't have to run in the wintertime. Those people try to make an escape in the wintertime from United States to Canada when Donald Trump got elected, and their hands and stuff and their feet froze off. They fell off. They got freezer burns. Neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation. Great tribulation. I believe it's the time when brother gonna be fighting against brother, and so on and so forth, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. No flesh be saved. If no flesh is saved, he said he's going to make a full end of the nations. And every man's sword is going to be against his brother. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. So if you read Ezekiel, if you read all of the rest of them, it's going to tell you that we are already going to be in our land, chilling. And then they're going to come over with their planes to do war with us. And then basically the sun and the moon is going to turn dark, and he's going to rain hailstones and brimstones on their military and bands and all the people with them. And that's Ezekiel 38:22. And the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in the heavens. Not Jesus coming back in great clouds and glory. That's a lie. Jesus ain't coming back. God is. There's going to be a sign of the Son of Man. They took that all out of proportion. You know, who infiltrated the Bible, those pagans. So again, 3 supermoons will take place January 21st, February 19th, and also March 21st, 2019. Isaiah 60, number 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and this is the elect, a handful, and his glory shall be seen upon you. And the Gentiles shall come to your light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. And what is this event? This is called the ensign for the Gentiles. So he said, I'm going to raise the ensign for the nations, which is the Gentiles, you know, from one corner of the earth to the next. And what he's going to do is he's going to lift his elect out in light. And they all going to see that, right? And he's going to do this with roar, so he's going to get everybody's attention. Matthew 24:31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. So that's the sound. So these two verses coinciding with each other. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. He not getting all of Israel, just the elect. Right? And then after whatever goes down, go down. Why? Because the elect are the only ones that's actually Israel. The rest of them is Jakes. And Jakes are Gentiles. They could be black, white, yellow, green, and brown. In this case, they're black. But the Jakes have went through the same suffering as us. And so God is going to have some mercy on them. So Isaiah 18:3. All you inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when he lift up the ensign on the mountain. So he lift us up in light, and he take us to the Mount Zion. When he said, when I lift up this ensign, which is us, his elect, to this mountain, and when he bloweth the trumpet, and that's the great sound of the trumpet, you know, all three of these verses is coinciding with each other. Hear ye. Hear ye. It's an order. I'm commanding you. In that time shall the present be brought unto the Lord of hosts. So Britain is supposed to be bringing that present. Who is the present? The rest of the children of Israel is supposed to be returned to Mount Zion to dwell safely in the land forever after that. Right? Of the host of the people scattered and peeled, which is us. And from a people terrible, that's them, from their beginning, hitherto. A nation meted out and trod it underfoot. Right? That's us. Whose land the rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of the Lord, the Mount Zion. So that's where they're supposed to be returning us to. And so, again, the sign is 3 super moons. January 21st, February 19th, March 21st, 2019. Our 400 years of captivity is turning, I believe, in 2019. And I say it again, I believe it. And then their 70 years of reign of falsehood is up. All of it is coming together pretty much at once. So on January the 1st, their 70-year time frame is up. I wouldn't be surprised if a war starts. Right? Or some stuff gets started right around that time. It's going to get ugly, people. So the tribulation is getting ready to begin. But also the captivity is turning. Also, the reign of the Gentiles is pretty much up. Your luggage should be packed, meaning that you should be ready to meet your Maker when he called. And the only way you're going to be ready, he said, is without blemish. You ain't going gay. I told you, you're going to pay when you gay. You're going to pay for being a drunk. You're going to pay for doing drugs. You're going to pay for partying and hanging around with the bad crowd. You know, you're going to pay for parlaying. You know, you're going to pay for murder, rape, molestation, theft, whatever you do, hatred. You're going to pay for all of that. You know, he said, I am going to punish Israel in measure. I'm not going to, he said, I'm going to make a full end of these nations, but I ain't going to leave you unholy punished. So the rest of y'all who didn't make it in the light, you're going to get wholly punished. Just wrap the news. Stay ready, y'all.